My name is Bev Palisaditsi. I'm a director, I'm a writer. I have worked on reality TV shows for the past 12 years. This is the first time I've ever done a business reality show. And it's very different, it's very interesting. Although the elements are the same in that people are competitive and everybody wants to win and look good on TV, people are still people, and how they react in a high pressure situation will always give all sorts of fun, interesting, different results. Making Nail the Pitch was probably one of the most fun jobs I've done in a long time. Finding the contestants, talking to the contestants, some of whom are hilarious characters, some very serious. And then of course, sourcing the judges was also very interesting, because then we knew that whatever mix we're gonna have of judges is going to be what really delivers this show.
Tepo Pagati from Pagati Holdings.
My name is Polani Meva. I'm from Business Partners.
My name is Marang Sitwalo, Dreamcatcher Multimedia.
I've judged several business plan competitions before and people pitching their businesses, but this is the first one that was going to go on TV.
This was my TV debut, so that was interesting and scary, thrilling, fun, daunting.
I think what sets Nail the Pitch apart is that we didn't treat anyone with any kids' gloves.
The highlight for me was really the contestants.
There were different businesses, so certainly there were some businesses that were at that formulation or startup phase where you don't really expect much of the entrepreneur. There were some businesses that were quite well established.
We had two young boys coming in doing bespoke tacky sneakers from the township. You had engineers, you had construction companies.
The highlight of working on the show, I must say, was the studio. Was shooting the pitches themselves and the different characters who walked in to come and pitch and how they carried themselves, the things that they did. The entire shooting time was really amazing.
It was a wonderful and interesting range of businesses, and the way they applied themselves to growing their businesses also just showcased great innovation, great imagination. So I learned a lot from them also.
Each and every one of these contestants, even though their businesses are really good, are not necessarily the best public speakers or the best under that kind of pressure. So the TV cameras were probably the most intimidating thing. I'm sure a lot of them would have done a lot better had it just been them and the judges. But having so many TV cameras and all the lights actually staring at you, they all walked out saying, "Oh no, the cameras, it was the cameras," you know. So that's something that a viewer wouldn't have known. Okay, I'm trying to think of the biggest challenge when recording a reality business show like this one, but I can't think of one. This was one of the most incredible shows I've done. It was not only easy, but I had some of the best professionals in the business, and all the elements really came together really well. I think the only fear I may have had is that, business people are not normally the most TV savvy, or, some of the business people I know are not very entertaining, so I was just worried about how boring it might be, because it is a business show. So the idea was to find the elements that would make it entertaining. And once we found the elements that would make it entertaining, it was smooth from then on. Working with professional actors, one can always ask them to do it again on, whatever emotion that you want to convey, whatever line you want delivered. When you're working on reality, and particularly this reality show, is that you're not only dealing with people who are presenting, just one side of themselves. Their business is their whole life. Their business is their be-all and end-all. So they're bringing that passion. They know their business so well. Obviously adding all the other ingredients of being on television and now having the added pressure of being judged by a panel of judges, it makes it interesting. But it's who they are, and you can't ask them to do it again. Whatever it is, if you missed a moment, if the camera wasn't rolling when something happened, you missed it. So it's really as real as that.
This is about real businesses, real questions. There's no acting, none of it is scripted. There's no directing of what questions to ask. So it's quite real.
I think people bring out their best when they know that cameras are rolling and they're on television. I mean, I'm standing here and normally I wouldn't stand exactly the way I'm standing. So, I'm trying to present my best pose. I'm standing a little straighter, I'm smiling a little more or a little less because I know that I have a gap in my teeth. People will try and present their very best on TV. Some people act a little more than others because they think that's what's expected of them. And we will have 1 or 2 episodes where we have characters that hog the limelight and yet say nothing in the pitch. There's some funny moments. What sets Nail the Pitch apart from other reality TV shows is that there's such educational elements. And when one says educational, you think, boring, educational TV, But each and every one of us that work behind the scenes, particularly in the studio, walked away with a bit more knowledge about what makes a business. And people were starting to jot down questions, as the judges are asking and noting things that the judges are saying. And if I had to be asked this question, how would I answer it? So the educational part of it is big. It's not so overt and so obvious, but it's huge, which makes me happy because anybody that's watching this will walk away with something.
It's also not the same level of entrepreneurs. You will see they are really small guys and they are very serious businesses, that should be taken with the seriousness that they deserve. So people of different levels into entrepreneurship will relate to the show and they will be pleasantly impressed, I think.
There is no doubt in my mind that if we're going to create the necessary level of employment in this country, we're going to have to vary the type of employment we're looking at. And right now, one of the biggest deficiencies in the country is on entrepreneurial prowess, if you like. So that entrepreneurial skill is quite deficient. We have a chronic deficiency of that. And shows like this play a major part in igniting that spirit amongst our people to say that, yes, indeed, people are starting businesses, people are battling with the same issues that you're battling with. So this one-man ship syndrome is not really necessary. So people can partner with others, people can see that indeed business is a process. There are certain struggles that you have to endure in order to build your business. And hopefully then they can learn some things. And in this way we can begin to see the TR rate, if you like, or the early entrepreneurship rate starting to climb up, and then we can start seeing real results in terms of employment creation.
I think the one thing that has come up is that people are not sitting there and waiting to raise R1 million to start into business. They are going in there and they are fighting their way in through it, and some of them are making a big success of it. So people should just take that from these contestants, that do not wait for you to be 50 and cash your retirement fund to get into business. You can be any young, you can start with something, and some of them have not even started in businesses that they would like. However, they do understand that I can start with anything, raise the necessary capital and wealth, and then get into my dream business at a later stage. So I think the reach that will come, in other words, the number of people that will get to see the show is obviously millions of people. If just a small percentage, say 5% of those people, then stand up and start into entrepreneurship, then ESCOM will have done a very good job.